So welcome back to another race vlog. This is the penultimate race vlog of 2024 and it's a day of the Newent 9. Now this is a race I do every single year. It's a 9.5k race, which is undulating to say the least. It's uphill for the first 2.5 miles, downhill and then kind of undulating back through town, back up to the finish. Really exciting. It's not one you ever go for a particular time. It's one you try and race for position. And I've had top 3 for the last 2 or 3 years now, I think, and it's always been a really exciting race. Now I'm trying a couple of new things today, a couple of different fueling tweaks. To be honest with you, I actually got up an hour late this morning. I was at a concert last night and I overslept my alarm, so I've had a slightly adapted breakfast. But what I am going to be testing out today, number one is bicarb. I've been testing it out in training, absolutely finding it to be brilliant. So I've had some of that this morning. And the second thing is loading up on caffeine before the race. I'm going to be taking about 175 milligrams of caffeine in the form of a gel and then a Ketone IQ caffeine shot. And race plan, as per every single year, be conservative in the first 2.5 miles and then let rip in the second half. It's what I always do. It seems to work well and it's exactly what I'm going to do again today. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm feeling like in a bit of a racing mood, so I might push a little bit harder in the first half than I normally would. Either way, I'm excited just to get out there with absolutely no pressure, give it a good go and see what we can do today. Right, first part of the caffeine, we're going with a super gel, citrus flavour, and this has 75 milligrams of caffeine, and that is happening at 9:48, so 45 minutes pretty much before the race. All right, so just getting a couple of miles warm up, down then we'll head back to the car, take the top layer off, have the next 100 milligrams of caffeine in the form of the Ketone IQ shot, and we will get on with this. We are about 40 minutes away from the start now, so what I'm going to do with the warm-up, 15 minutes, 12 minutes nice and easy, and the last 2 minutes just pick it up to like a tempo effort, and then do some strides after that, feel good and get into it. And this is the first mile of the course here. I'm just basically running out a mile and back, or a little bit over a mile, but yeah, this is the hardest bit. You run around the field and then when you get out onto the road you're climbing from there, and we hit this bit here towards the end of the first mile, and this is by far the bit that stings the most. And this is why you need to be conservative, because this thing goes on and on and on. We're just about to reach the top now up there. There we go, warm up done, 12 minutes ish easy, 3-minute tempo, a couple of strides. Right, warm up done. A couple of things to say really. So we're repping the Forest of Dean vest today, club run. Excited for this one. We are testing out the Coros Pace Pro. So this is its second outing. I did a nice easy run in it Friday. Didn't run yesterday. And now today we're getting a race test. Really excited for this one. A couple of things that I've noticed already with it, but that's not for today's video. We'll talk about that next week. I've had the caffeine gel. We are now just over 15 minutes away. So we're now going to have the Ketone IQ. So there we go. So that is now 175 milligrams of caffeine in the system. Excited for this one. I've tested all this in training, so it's time to give it a test on race day. You cannot replicate race day conditions in training, so we'll see how we go today. Final thoughts out there. Excited. My hip is a little bit niggly today. I will not lie. I've done all the activations in the world, but as I mentioned earlier, went to a concert last night, drove down to Cardiff. I was driving for an hour and a quarter on my feet for about 5 hours, watching the most incredible concert in the world. An hour and a quarter drive home, didn't get back till midnight. So yeah, I've activated, I've done all I can. The warm-up felt good, I felt smooth, but my right hip is a little bit niggly. Other than that, I've got to be honest with you, aerobically I feel good. Now training hasn't been good over the last, basically since I've been going to try to get back into things quickly. Body kind of said no, so I've been taking it really easy since then. So it'll be really interesting to see what we can do today. That warm-up just reminded me how tough this first hill is. So I'm going to slip the cap on, which is right here, get the Insta 360 going, and we'll get out there. There looks to be some tough competition today, so let's see how we do. How are you? Yeah, excited for today. Love this one.
It is always
good bit of fun, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Passive aggressive diamonds.
2, 1, go! Oh. round the rugby post, I think. Right, we're on the flat. Let's put the afterburners on. Cheers. Cheers.
Come on, Andy! Come on, well done!
Top man, well done, mate. Good man.
I got this one from the videos actually.
Oh, brilliant. Worthwhile coming down for this one. It's a great event. Good man. Well done, buddy. Cheers, dude. How are you? Well, there we go. The bicarb and the caffeine worked. So that was, I don't know, the last year's time. It was 34 something, and today was 33.23. That was unbelievable. I think from memory, the first 3 mile splits there were faster than last year. I think the fourth one I slowed a bit, and then the fifth one was quicker, I think. Felt amazing today, absolutely unbelievable. I'll give you a proper race recap in a second. I'm just going to go and do a bit of prize receiving, I mean.
In second place, in Forest and Dean, is Andy Rayner.
So there we go, what a race. Back home now, just kind of processing everything. So just a great local race to go and do. I love doing it every year. I said in the training series and the training videos building up to the end of this year, I'm looking to have some fun at Newent 9 and the Hereford 10K. Absolutely no pressure races, and that it just paid off today. It was really, really good. Even the concert last night seemed to still leave a little bit of life left in the legs. So happy. Lots of thoughts. First of all, experimentation. Well, no, first of all, let's say a massive thanks to Newent runners for putting the event on as they do every single single year. Brilliant medal and just brilliant organisation, brilliant event. I love coming back every year. It's such a good one. If you ever get a chance to do it and you don't mind coming and doing like I call it like a road cross country, it's just such a good race. Experimentation time. Obviously this morning I mentioned to you, slightly different breakfast just because I got up a bit late, but the bicarb and the caffeine, that worked really well. I flagged in the last mile, I won't lie, but miles 1 to 4 were quicker than last year. Mile 5 was slightly slower, and then mile 6 matched. So I've got to say, like, I felt really good, although I did feel really, really tired in that final mile, basically. So whether it wore off at that point, I don't know. But either way, that first bit was just insane. In terms of the bicarb, what I've experienced in training is like no lactate burn. I felt it on the 5k time trial I did a couple of weeks ago. Just kind of like pushing up the hills around the industrial estate, just the small slopes where my legs would normally just be burning absolutely nothing. Proven today by the fact that my heart rate got up super high, the highest I've seen it in any race in a very long time. And when it normally gets up into that realm, I flag, I crash and burn, it's horrific. Today, although the last mile was a little bit sketchy, I still finished strong with a sprint finish and really, really happy with it. And I got no burn, like I pushed up those hills. The most impressive thing for me today from the race in particular was the first 2 miles where you're really working the hills, and the third one actually. I've never been able to get under, well, I think I've run 1 sub 6 minute mile over the last 3 years up one of those hills in one of those miles. I've never run a full race with sub 6 minute miles on those hills. So to run a 5:40 something compared to last year's 6:03 was a massive improvement. I just felt really, really good today. And yeah, the caffeine again worked wonders, didn't get any stomach issues whatsoever. So I will be replicating, I'll be making a note of the gel that I used. I'm writing all this down now to see what I can use in the future. I actually preferred that gel to the Morton gel, to be honest. So I'll probably get some more of those. I'll obviously be testing more gels in the future, but getting that much caffeine in and having a ketone, I mean the ketone IQ shots, I bang on about them all the time. I have them every single training run, and I've been practicing using that in training, literally necking it and then going, like I necked that in training and did a 16:25k TT around this industrial estate here within 3 minutes of necking that ketone IQ shot. Like I walked to the start and went, so I knew it wasn't going to give me stomach issues, and it didn't today. So really, really grateful for that as well. I've got to say that those two things combined were really good today. Basically gave me 175 milligrams of caffeine. In terms of the race itself, really good. Obviously, I don't know how, if you're a long-term subscriber, you'll see that I've raced a lad in the orange vest now for 3 years, Western Tempo lad, such a nice guy. See him every year, it's brilliant. I see him at other races too, and massive shout out to him because he broke 16 minutes at Podium 5k this year. When I couldn't manage it, I was gutted, but I saw him cross the line ahead. It was brilliant. So it was great to see him again. Normally, he drops me on the hills, and I did my best today to stick with him. And although he kind of broke from me around the 2 mile mark until 3, I held on to him for 2 miles, and I was really damn happy with that because normally he's absolutely gone. And then when we came, basically we rode those hills, a little bit windy, a little bit like last year, not quite as bad, but still a bit windy going out that way. Did the hills, felt really good, no lactate burn whatsoever, was just pushing, the heart rate was up, I didn't care, it felt good, went for it, rolled up, and then another chap went past us around 2.5 miles. He was the eventual winner, he was brilliant, he ran so smart, he conserved a bit on the first couple of hills and then really put the hammer down. He put a huge gap on us as we were going down the hill, and then as we hit the flat, like I always do, I really try and lock in there at Newent 9 and just push on. So I went past the Western Tempo lad along that straight there, really tried to drop the hammer. That 4th mile was the fastest mile I've ever registered in the Newent 9 race, I think by a second, a 5:16 mile. And now normally last year actually my next mile was another like 5:18. This year it wasn't, that's where I slowed a bit. But I went past the Western Tempo lad, and then I just locked on at the chap in the black and white vest in front and just tried to reel him back in as the race went on. And I got close at the end. I think we finished within like 5 or 6 seconds of each other, maybe 7, I don't know. But it wasn't enough. I ran out of road. He ran such a good race. But for me, it was a great target. And when I was starting to fatigue, I was just thinking to myself, lock on, eyes lock on the back of him, and just see if you can reel him in. And we did to a degree, and it just kept me motivated all the way around. So it's always great to have that sort of like target in front of you through racing. I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. Just put a target on someone's back and just chase it. So yeah, it ended up being really good, really strong. And like I have said before and said straight after the race, I haven't seen that big of an improvement at the Newent 9 race in 3 or 4 years now. It was a brilliant, like for me, that was a really solid stepping stone, a sign of good fitness, and makes me really excited leading into the winter. So I'll leave it there, guys. I could waffle on, but I won't. We'll leave it there. I appreciate your support. One more race to go this year, the Hereford 10K at the end of the year. Really excited for that one. For now, we'll be getting back to half marathon training, starting a new block a week after next. Really excited for that. So if you enjoyed this one, guys, a massive thanks. Please do give it a like, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel for weekly running content. See you on the next one.